entering the creative consciousness of director and Adobe expert Kristian Gabriel.
Hey everyone, Kristian Gabriel here. I'm pretty excited because today they just released Adobe CC 2016. Well, it's not really called 2016, it's really 2015.3. All right, here we go. Starting off, we have Photoshop. So what is new in Photoshop? Now, each of these programs have probably dozens of new features added. I'm gonna focus on the ones that excite me the most. First off, in Adobe Photoshop, I'm now in Adobe Photoshop right here. There is this really great thing called Match Font. So basically, all you have to do is with any image, and this is just a JPEG, this is just an Adobe JPEG right here. I'm gonna go up to the Type menu and drop that down, and you'll see we have this new feature called Match Font. What that does is bring up this little beautiful dialog called Match Font dialog, and what I do is I want to surround the font that I want information from. So I'm going to go ahead and crop this a little bit closer here. I'm going to drop that in, and as I do that, it's actually giving me options for what this font could actually be. Now remember, this is not text, this is a picture, this is just a JPEG. So as I just kind of surround this even more, it just starts isolating some of the best choices to match this particular font here. So really exciting stuff. Match Font is awesome. Then you can go about downloading and installing font that matches this. All right, so the second feature that I'm really excited about is this content aware feature inside of the crop tool. If I go over to my crop tool, go ahead and select it here. A lot of times we want to crop outward here. So if you see, I'm just kind of pulling these out here. They could be pulling them out to the edge. Normally, if I did this and I hit return right now, it would mat these edges with white. But if I go up here to the options panel right here, and I go ahead and tick on the content aware box and then hit return, look what happens around the edge. It'll think about it for a second, and then bam, look at that. It actually recreates elements of the photograph that are missing around the whole thing. That is amazing right there. Love it. So let's check out this other feature here. I have this little portrait that I just downloaded from the web here. I'm gonna go ahead, zoom in just a little bit. All right, so I'm gonna go up to Filter and then something called Liquify. Now, anyone that uses Photoshop knows that Liquify is that tool that can shave a few pounds off you or add a few pounds on you. It can make you look like an alien. It's really crazy. It's kind of like taking your photograph and manipulating it like silly putty. So if I go ahead and select Liquify now, we now have this face aware Liquify tool. And you'll see right here, it says face aware Liquify. And it's already kind of calculated. If I just hover over the different parts of the face, you can see there's the nose width right here. There's the eyes. It's already kind of tracked and scanned the different portions of the face right here. Well, now I could go over here to, let's say, eyes, under the eyes category, and we have eyes, nose, mouth, and face shape, and manipulate things. So for example, under eyes, it says eyes size. I could go ahead and increase that, and look at her eyes just getting bigger. I could really bug them out. Now, this is without using any of the tools that we previously used before. Just kind of pumping this up, we could make the eyes bigger. We could change the eye height. Okay. We could go ahead and change the eye width. We could tilt the eyes. We can change the eye distance. We can make them closer to each other or further apart. Now we could do that with nose, mouth, and face shape. All kinds of interesting things. We could make her smile. We could adjust the upper lip versus the lower lip, mouth width, mouth height. We got all kinds of really interesting stuff right here. There's nose width right here. You can see I could just expand her nose out. Looks a little creepy. This is definitely a creepy tool, but so awesome. Face aware liquify. Totally cool stuff. Let's go ahead and switch it up to Premiere Pro. All right, so we got some really interesting things going on here as well. Now, when you first boot up Premiere, you'll see the same old window. Okay, we got the video, audio, capture, little formats here we can kind of mess around with, scratch discs, but wait, we got a third tab. That is ingest settings. This is really cool, and a lot of us, especially those that come from Avid, have been waiting for this feature for a very long time. When I teach Premiere, I always teach that component that allows you to ingest media and transcode is really in a separate program called Prelude, which is an amazing program in its own right. But this tab allows you to ingest media and transcode it at the same time, or copy media at the same time. So if you see here, ingest right here, if I go ahead and turn this on, you'll see I now have the ability to copy my media to a place, a location on a drive or a local drive, external drive, whatever. So I can copy media and it will set up my project and link to that media. It can transcode the media, so if you want to change your camera media to a more workable form or a different file format, then you can transcode and then it will create your project and relink to those transcoded media files. You can create proxies now. We always could create proxies to some degree manually, but this just really sinks it right here. This makes it so much easier to work with, and as you'll see once we get inside, that there's a lot more to this. So I could select proxies right here and create smaller, lower quality versions of your camera footage. You can work with those very easily, even on a laptop. We can also copy media and create proxies. This is awesome because you will have a copy of your raw media, as well as it will create lower quality versions that work alongside of these. And inside of Premiere, there's a new switch that will allow you to switch between each one of those dynamically. So absolutely amazing stuff right here. So copy, transcode, create proxies, and copy and create proxies. So very interesting stuff. Outside of that, yes, I've been waiting for this so long. Copy with MD5 verification. It's about time. Primary destination, very simple. Where do we want footage to go? Where do we want the proxies to go? So we can set these up to go to separate locations, or we could have them go to the same location. So this is the brand new media right here. Absolutely amazing. If I go ahead and let's say I want to create proxies, so like a lower quality version of that, you can see I could drop this down. I have several different possibilities here, including H.264 and GoPro. Now, don't be fooled. GoPro is not a low quality file format. It's also a very high quality. So don't think that all of GoPro Cineform is this low quality stuff. It's actually very, very high. This is just a lower quality version of it. So right now I'm just gonna go ahead and select, let's say H.264, 1024 right here. And just like that. And I'm gonna go ahead and say, okay, and create this new project right here. This is great. Now, everything seems normal. Now, what happens if I go ahead and import media? Well, let's check this out. I have basically a few Blackmagic raw 4K clips going on here, and I'm just gonna go ahead and jump into one. I don't know which one this is. Be nice if it was smaller, so my my example will go much faster. Yeah, I'll just go ahead and try this one right here. Excellent, and you'll see this is standard raw image sequence. If I just select the first file, once again, you do not have to select image sequence in this case. It understands that this is a raw file and will combine all these files to create the clip right here. Enough about that. I'll explain that in a later tutorial. I'm now just going to say open. And you'll see it brings it in, but look what it's booting up right now. By the way, beautiful splash screen on Media Encoder CC. Really amazing. Anyways, it brings it in, loads it in Media Encoder, and automatically starts to transcode the proxy for you. So once again, it's taking that large 4K file and it is transcoding it down to a little tiny, amazing file that you can work with much easier, even on your laptops or low-powered machines. So it's like really, really cool here. All right, so once you get your footage in, you just have one set of media. So it's not like you have two clips in your bin representing a raw clip and a proxy clip. You have one clip in your bin to represent both the proxy and the raw. So how do we switch back and forth? How do we switch like my media from proxies to raw? Well, this is how easy it is. If you go under your program monitor right here and you go down underneath your transport controls, you will now see a new toggle called proxies. If you click that, that will now switch between the raw and the proxy media back and forth. You could work on the proxies, you can work on the raw, you could switch back and forth as you need to. This is absolutely amazing. So this is the brand new proxy system right here. So how easy is it? Do we have to force media offline and then relink and go through all that trouble? Absolutely not. Premiere is handling this for us and using this little switch. So what we can do is work on the proxy versions, the low quality versions, till we get our offline edit done. And then when we want to export for online, we could just click one little button and then export the raw version of it, and voila. So, so quick, so amazing. By the way, if you do not have this button on your transport controls, it's very easy to get. You just go over to the bottom right corner to where it says the button editor, click on that, and you can remap the button and grab it from here. See, it's right there. This is where we can add buttons and customize this whole transport area right here. Very cool stuff. All right, so the other thing that's brand new, and you might have been looking at it while I'm going through all of this, is we now have secondary color control inside of Premiere. The ability to be able to isolate a part of your footage and change the color using luma settings and saturation settings and other types of settings. Absolutely great. We've been waiting for this once again for a very long time. As you can see on the right hand side, I am in the color workspace right now, and you can see I have all this wonderful stuff. I have the ability to remove color, add color, set color, sampling colors, white balance, denoise, blur. So we have this refine menu here. So some of these tools we did have before, but they're kind of categorized in different compartments here. And then other tools are absolutely brand new. And of course, the secondary color correction right here, HSL secondary, all brand new stuff right there. So once again, we've been waiting for this for a long time. So excited about it. It's just amazing. Other than that, there are a ton of other features in Premiere. All I can say is Premiere is much, much faster. Everything's booting up very fast. I booted up Media Encoder, I booted up Photoshop, Illustrator. Everything seems to be so much faster. All right, so another feature that I absolutely love in Premiere, probably one of the best features other than some of the 3D ones, I'm gonna go ahead and import. All right, so I just imported a file here, and I'm going to drop it in here. Just drop it into my source window. Okay, now one of the greatest features that Adobe has now added to the CC 2015.3 bundle is the ability to edit and work with virtual reality. As you know, virtual reality and AR are exploding everywhere right now. It's getting bigger and bigger. Many of us have been trying to get in on the ground floor for the last probably year or so, year and a half, trying to really kind of get in early on this technology because it's going to be the next big thing. We have IMAX VR coming out. We got all this great stuff going on here. So once again, of course, Adobe has kind of looked into the future, and they were designing this stuff just a long time ago and now have come out with these great features. I have now loaded this video right here, this interesting video. If I go ahead and go back to the beginning, and it doesn't look like it's any different from any other video, but it is. There's a lot of difference here. If I go ahead and I load, let's say, virtual reality video, or a video that was shot with a VR camera, I can bring it in and load it up in any of the monitors or timelines, and then go to my little wrench right here, which is the settings, drop that down, and where do we got here? We got VR video enable. So I could go ahead and flip this on just like that. And this now alters my screen, and you see we got these little degrees on the side right here. Well, now this has been converted to actually view VR. So if I kind of move this around here, I can go ahead and actually even interactively grab this little window here, and you can see things are sliding around. Of course, it looks pretty horrid at this point right here, depending on what type of VR you have. If I go ahead back into settings and I go into VR video, there's our settings right there. I need to dial this in, okay? So depending on what type of VR you have, once again, it's not appropriate to go through all of this stuff right now, but this is monoscopic right here, and I'm just gonna say okay, and you'll see that this is now a video. All right, so once again, if I go ahead and move in this, that is a little bit higher quality here. You'll see I have now loaded this virtual reality video right here, and if I go inside of this, now I'm sitting inside this car right here, and I could of course play this right now and move around. This is all inside of Adobe right here. Just by enabling the VR button, I'm able to now move around 360 degrees and see what people are gonna see when they turn their head. They have those goggles on, and they're able to look around. Once again, very cool stuff. And as it goes through, obviously, this is just little sample video that I found, and you'll see you can look up into the sky, you can bring it down, look all around. This will allow you to intelligently edit VR video. Without this feature, it just looks like a big old hot mess. Now this is continued in Media Encoder. If I go ahead and move over here, if I load a video that's actually a virtual reality clip right here. Okay, I now just loaded a virtual reality clip right here. I'm gonna kind of move into here, and you can see the video's pretty crazy looking right here. All I have to do is go down to the bottom of my video panel here and switch on video is VR and tell it what type of VR it actually is, and it will actually encode it or maintain that encode for that particular virtual reality footage there. So anyways, great features. Since I am here inside of Media Encoder, something that you will notice is Media Encoder has been sped up. It's so blistering fast. It's amazing. You can see the panels have been flipped around, and we have a brand new one called Media Browser, borrowed from Premiere. We now can preview our footage, raw footage, whatever, before we even bring it in. This is extremely useful stuff here. Anyways, that's it. So once again, thank you for listening to my crazy new Adobe features ramble on right here. Once again, I want to thank you for watching this video, and if you can, please subscribe to this channel. All right, thank you so much, and hopefully I see you on other videos. All right, have a great day.